Welcome to Daily Armor. Today we're going to be in Psalms 107, but this time we're going to be going from verses 9 through 16, which that was the original plan, but I kind of got stuck on verse number 9, and so today we'll just be dealing with verse number 9, and then maybe on the next devotion that we'll be finishing up the rest of these verses. But let's just look at verse number 9, Psalms 107, and it says, "For he satisfieth the longing soul, and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. For he satisfieth the longing soul, and filleth the hungry soul with goodness." I kind of got stuck on that. The word satisfy, meaning to be full, enough, sufficient, have plenty. I have struggled with that. Probably some of you have a struggle with that. Of being satisfied and staying satisfied. That's kind of where my struggle is a lot of times, is staying satisfied. I'm always longing for more. I'm always longing for something else, for a new adventure. I love to travel, so I cannot get enough travel in. The last couple of years we have been doing some different things with the budget, and so we have restricted ourselves to how much that we will travel, and so I'm really just chomping at the bit, ready to get back out there. Got to give it a little bit more time, but I'm always longing for that next one. When I can be on one trip, I'm already thinking, okay, where are we going next? What are we doing next? Sometimes I would come back from a trip and there would be some that would say, well, Miss Teresa, are you tired? And I'm like, just give me 24 hours. I'm ready to go again. I'm always longing for something else. It seems like that I am not ever satisfied with myself, with adventures, with getting involved in things. I have a lot of mental energy, which drives my husband crazy because he tells me all the time, will you just shut your brain off? Can you just calm down? Can you just be still? And I have trouble being still. I've noticed that some of my children, they pace and they have trouble being still. And I kind of giggle because I know exactly what they're feeling. I know exactly what they're doing. It's all this. It's like there's something we need to be doing. We could be doing something. And sometimes you just can't even, sometimes I can't even just sit down and enjoy a movie. I'm kind of like thinking about something else, or I want to be up, doing something else. So I have a struggle with being satisfied, and maybe that you have the same struggle with being satisfied. When I look at where the responsibility lies is in that if we submit, we have to submit to what he wants, but he is able to satisfy. He can satisfy down to our core, to that longing soul, and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. Now, if you look at this longing, this is that longing you have inside. This is that appetite. This is that course of life this is what you're seeking. And even in the King James Bible dictionary, it said it was like seeking greedily. Like this is all you can think about. This is all you're focused on. You're eager and you're driven. And it's not saying that that's bad. It's just saying that's that longing appetite inside of you. But when you're truly going to be satisfied is when you are letting him satisfy you, when you're accepting what he has to offer. And that is what's truly going to satisfy. The problem that what we often have is that we're expecting others. We're expecting other things. We're expecting, like, oh, I'll be satisfied if I could win the lottery. Oh, I'll be satisfied if I get this perfect job. Oh, I'll be satisfied if, I do this or I do that, or if my relationships are perfect, or if this is perfect, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. So even in those things that we're longing for, those things to make us happy and to make us satisfied, they can't. They don't have the ability to. It's too much pressure. You put too much pressure on other people to feel like that, well, they're going to satisfy me. They're going to make me happy. No, that's too much pressure. They can't handle that pressure. You know who can handle the pressure? God can. God can handle the pressure because he's perfect. He's holy. He's righteous. He knows everything. He has everything. There's just nothing outside his wheelhouse. And that person that is like myself, who is hungry, like I have a hunger inside of me to be driven, but also, physically hungry. I'm physically hungry a lot. And this was a matter that I took to the Lord in prayer over this past year. It was just like it started being a really huge issue. Like I've always had a physical hunger, like physically stay hungry all the time. And it just seemed like this past year that got worse. Of course, then you start packing on the weight and then you start feeling terrible. And you're like, but I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And so just to even taking that, I'm like, and I took that to the Lord in prayer. And it didn't happen instantly. But I know that He answered my prayer and He has helped me satisfy that hunger, even that physical hunger. He's been satisfying those spiritual hungers. He does that all the time. And then through others' testimonies about Brother Jerry, close friend, Brother Jerry, give up cigarettes because he prayed about it and the Lord took that away from him and helped him with that. And I think it's probably been about a year now that he's had a cigarette, and he didn't have that within him. That's what he said. That's what he shared. And I thought, well, you know what, Lord, I have this inner hunger. I am starving. Todd could say, are you hungry? Well, of course I am. I'm always hungry. I have to choose whether to eat or whether not to eat, but it's not based on whether I'm hungry or not. It's simply if I can stop myself or if I can't. And when I went to the Lord in prayer, it's been several months ago now, I just kept praying. I'm like, Lord, show me what I need to do. Show me what's going to help me. Show me what path I need to take. There's so much out there. There's so many things that we can do and we can try, and not just in the diet world, but in everything. There's adventures. There's, all kinds of things that we can be involved in. There's wonderful, and there's good things. Everything's not bad. There's wonderful, good ministries that we can be involved in, but really what's going to satisfy me and what's going to satisfy you is doing those things that He wants us to be involved in. Maybe it's something we haven't thought of. Maybe it's something that we don't think we would be good at. He has a tendency to constantly give me things that I'm not good at because I'm really just not that good at a lot of things. But He puts me in that circumstance anyway. Why? Not to show me what I can do, but to show me what I can do with Him, through Him, because of Him. And He's done that same thing with this longing appetite that I have. I think I've had it ever since I was a child. Just constantly hungry. And I went into this asking the Lord to do what I can't do. Lord, this is deep within me. Lord, I need you to help me with my appetite. And I have found that He has showed me a path. Now I had to be willing to submit to what He wanted me to do. And it was definitely something I thought, there's no way I can do this. There's absolutely no way that I can do this. But He was showing me that I could because He was leading me there. And so I have been going down that path now for I don't know, about a month and a half or so. And I'm finding I'm very, very satisfied. And in those moments where that longing changes, I can go right back to Him and He can show me exactly what I need to do. And that longing, that appetite, that course that I want, He creates that path that He wants for me, not what I want. When it talks about that being filled, if you look in verse number 9 at the very end of it, it says, and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. That filleth. That word filleth means so full that there is no more room. When you've got that water pot and you fill it all the way up to the brim, it means that it's so full that if you put anything else in it, it's going to spill over. And when He fills us to where there's no more room for anything. You know what that means? There's no room for the junk. If we are so full and so busy doing what He wants us to do, and if we're so full and so busy being satisfied in what He has for us, it's going to get rid of a lot of that junk in our life automatically, because we're going to be so busy and so full, we ain't even going to have time for it. We're not even going to be able to, there's going to be no room for it. And I love that. There's no room for it. Just like with, when you are trying to change your physical hunger habits, and start filling up on things are healthy for you, and pretty soon you're going to find out that I'm so full I don't even For me, I used to get dessert first. Why? Because I was afraid I was going to get full and wouldn't be able to hold it. Now I'm like, you know what? This is a wonderful thing. I'm going to fill up on good food. I'm going to fill up on things that I need. And then there's not going to be room for any of the junk. And so that's where we're going to be full of His goodness. He fills us, the hungry soul, with goodness. That means the goodness means they're beautiful, they're best, they're pleasant, they're agreeable, they're excellent, they're rich, they're valuable, they're appropriate. And that's us wanting those things that He wants for us and accepting what He wants for us. So when we think about being satisfied, our total satisfaction is going to be found in God and God only. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again soon.